What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. Man. Another weekend. I I wasn't super productive this weekend. I didn't get much reading done, a little bit, and I really didn't do much with with flight sim. I flew just a little bit. Most of that was actually today, and it wasn't for too long. So, but didn't work on painting them or anything else. I did a little bit of, I did watch a few videos on how to do some certain things, and I did do that. I made the entire fuselage and wings of an aircraft glass. However, I do not yet know how to properly export the model in order to do so in a manner in which I can throw it in the flight sim and it's good to go. There's a lot to it. There's a whole lot to it. And, you know, it seems like it's a really specific thing. You got to make sure you have all your T's crossed, your I's dotted kind of things. Just like coding. Coding's the same way. You know, you miss one little semicolon or something like that and it just ruins your entire year, you know, as you're looking for that semicolon. But, you know, it's not something that, okay, if I successfully did this, I can't put this anywhere. I can't post it anywhere. I can't, because that's intellectual property. That's, that model is property of whoever it is that did it, whoever made it. For me to take that model, which would cost money to buy when you buy the aircraft, and then put it back out there, even though I made changes to it, that's, you know, that's piracy. So, I can't put the stuff out there, but, it'd be fun to play with, you know. It'd be fun to play with. I don't know why. I want a series of glass planes. And I mean I'm talking fighter jets, bush planes. I want probably all the planes I fly on a regular. Yeah, I'm going to want a glass version. So, I don't know. It's just really cool. So, anywho, other than that, all I did was fly around looking for trams in New York. So, trams, it's just one letter. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool though, that tram. I didn't even know it existed, so it's kind of cool. Alright, trying to think if there's really anything. I got that video that I had mentioned on the video I put out earlier about where YouTube removed my interview with Constitutional Judge Gary, if I can spit it all out, Constitutional Judge Gary Darby. That has been uploaded to Rumble, that interview, and I'm at a loss, you know. I know right during that moment it talked about people telling people to quit watching their television all the time because it turned them into brain dead zombies. That has to be, I mean, that's the only thing even remotely medical in the conversation. So that had to have been what they picked out as the medical misinformation to get rid of a video that talked about your constitutional law and your rights. And I mean, it gets deep down and dirty. It's like a 3.5-hour interview with the guy. It's not just a couple of minutes. Yet, that, you know, most people probably didn't even know that interview existed on our videos. There is a whole treasure trove of stuff from back in the whole 2016 realm, if you will. A lot of stuff going on. That's when we really started getting active, and we had some bang-up interviews. So now I'm a different type of interviewer than most. Many interviewers, when they have an interview, You hear them more than anything. It's not how I do it. It's not my interview. I always thought that was the stupidest thing ever. You invite somebody on to talk, and then you just talk over them. That to me is the most bizarre thing ever, and that happens in like 90%. You know? Sustenance and Covering was a guy that I interviewed way back, way back, maybe even 2014, can't remember, way back. And the one thing that he said to me the moment we got done, you know, with the interview, and he couldn't believe it, that I let him speak. He's like, he goes, I almost didn't know how to react, because I'm so used to people cutting me off and telling me, oh, no this and oh, no that. And like, it's your interview, dude. You're supposed to speak, not me. You know, if I got questions, if I got anything I can add, well then, okay. But for the most part, if you're interviewing somebody, the focus should be about them. I don't know, I just see a lot of shows that get that off, it seems. It's just weird. Seems like they have people on not to find out information, but to try to, well, not in all cases, but in some cases. They try to paint them in a box, most of the time a very unfair box. In so-called interviews. And that's not how I roll. Now, if I was interviewing somebody, you put a politician or something like that in front of me, and it's going to get nasty. It's going to get ugly, I'm telling you. Hang on a second. Because there ain't a damn thing I'm afraid to say. I'm also not one of those types of people. You could set me up to interview Trump tomorrow, and your minds would just be blown, because there would be no softball questions. There would be no pandering. There would be no playing around with him. And it's not that I despise the guy or anything like that. I don't have some type of, Trump derangement syndrome by any means. But at the same time, I know who my Lord God is, and I don't forget who my Lord God is, and I'm not even going to remotely try to put a man up on that high of a pedestal, which I feel many have put Trump. Not going to happen. But I would interview him the same way I would interview anybody else, that if it was for that type of interview. And then, yeah, it would get ugly. But if I'm interviewing something because of what they're doing, aside from running for office or something, then it's their show. I'm just there to be the guy that turns on the lights. I mean, I don't know. I know it's different, but see, there used to be this thing back in the day, too, called news. And they just did news. They just gave you the information. They didn't tell you how you needed to feel about it. They didn't add all kinds of dramatic, music and this, that, and the other thing to help, guide your emotions along. See, that's the whole thing. Anytime you see anyone trying to guide your emotions, you should be suspicious. It's like anytime somebody flatters you, you should be suspicious. Don't ever think that, oh, this is wonderful. No. See, back in the day, there was more common sense, especially when it came to flattery. And there were a lot of people back in the day, you try to flatter them, they'd knock that shit down in a hurry. I was one of them. My dad was the same way. No, don't kiss my ass. Don't kiss my ass. If you work for me or something, like, do your job. Do your job. That's all. Definitely don't kiss my ass. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. I hate ass kissers, brown nosers, and that doesn't matter whether I'm a boss or whether I'm just a coworker. Can't stand them. Slimiest, sleaziest. You show me one of those people that, oh, that man doesn't have an enemy in the world, and I'll show you somebody that's never stood up for a damn thing in their life. I've got a brother like that. My next older brother. Not the oldest, my next older brother. Ass kisser extraordinaire. Oh, well. It's got him far in life, I suppose. Not really, but, you know. North Korea blasts Washington's sinister plan for Ukraine. Wow. Headline just came out. Interesting. Let me get that shared out. Fun times. And then, I've got some headlines for you we're going to talk about. I've got, looks like 4 or 5, I can't count today, 5 tabs today open for you. Of course, from the thumbnail and title of the show, you got a clue of the first thing we're going to talk about. Yeah, Brits, I mean, I know it's cold and the snow's falling and, well, you can't go outside for any longer than 10 minutes because your skin starts freezing, but we're going to need you to turn off your heat overnight because, well, our leadership's a bunch of morons, that's why, but wow. Can you even imagine? Nah, I know, just don't worry about it, just turn off your heat, you'll be alright. Light a candle, right? Light a candle. Listen to the prepper channels. Light a candle with a terracotta pot and you'll survive forever. Right? That's all you need. Terracotta pot and a candle. Don't ever listen to that advice, by the way. You see a channel trying to sell you on a terracotta pot and a candle as a heat source, unsubscribe. And if you can, block. Because that person is a flaming idiot that likes to just parrot things that other people say and has never been in a position to where he's tried to survive in the freezing cold with a terracotta pot and a frickin' candle. Maybe they ought to make a couple of these geniuses do it so when you see the results you know better. Terracotta pot and a candle. Oh, this is all the heat I need for a 400,000 foot square warehouse. Ah. Frickin' morons. The pot does not increase. It helps disperse over a wider area. Yes, the pot helps. The pot is not fucking magic. It doesn't have a little built-in heater. Sorry. I rag on that one bad because it deserves to be. I mean, people going out telling people that nonsense, man, I do not joke at all. It is not a joke. I'm not saying it lightly. I mean every single word of it. There's a lot of these channels out there that's going to have plenty of blood on their hands because of their ignorance of direction, quote unquote. Don't do that, folks. Please, I beg you, don't have that for a cold weather survival plan unless you live in the tropics or something. Then you might need a sheet, you know? I mean, in the tropics. Just cover up with the sheet. You'll be all right. Anyway, read the article here instead of making up what it says, shall we? British NGO, the Climate Change Committee, has urged people to turn their heaters off at night and during other peak times in its latest carbon budget report, the UK Telegraph revealed on Saturday. They put it on Saturday because their offices were closed. All the people calling up, you sons of bitch. Rather than keeping radiators on at night during the coldest part of the year, Britons should preheat. Oh, you're going to love this. Preheat their homes in the afternoon to save money, the report advised, explaining where homes are sufficiently well insulated, it is possible to preheat ahead of peak times, enabling access to cheaper tariffs which reflect the reduced cost associated with running networks and producing power during off-peak times. Yeah, I don't know about you, but our house is just like a damn heat battery, you know. We just warm this sumbitch up in the mornings. We shut every damn thing off. We shut off the damn breaker box, right? We don't need nothing on. And it stays 80 degrees on the inside till 10 damn p.m. until we... I'm lying out my ass. You turn the heat off in this sumbitch when it's cold out, and in about 15 minutes you're going to be freezing your balls off. Even if you're female, I don't know, you got to ask the left. So, anyway, this is insane. It goes on to say the advice is geared toward households with electrically powered systems. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Like the heat pumps popular elsewhere in Europe, though most British homes use gas boilers, you know, the nasty things they gotta get rid of. By 2033, all new construction homes, and up to half of those built after 1952, should include preheating capabilities, the CCC said, which aren't real far from the KKK. So, you know, just be careful with the CCC. It's just a real light little, next thing you know, you're putting on a hood and meeting in the middle of the night with a torch. It's a crazy, slippery slope, folks. Anyway, wow. So, all of these homes, like half of them since 1952, have been built with preheating capabilities, right? You mean they got doors or something? I mean, help me out here. What exactly is preheating capabilities that's been around since 1952? I mean, a heater? A thermostat? What is a preheating capability? I'm just a little lost here. So, good news though. It says, however, the government is reportedly considering scrapping a proposed ban on the installation of oil-powered boilers, you know, ones that you can actually heat your damn home with, that would have taken effect in 2026 and forced new homes to use electric heat pumps after warnings the move would further strain the already overtaxed electrical grid and increase rural fuel poverty. Nah, who cares? I mean, what's the matter? You should have a home that's capable of preheating. I mean, come on, 1952. How damn old is your home? I mean, these houses, you walk in, snap the friction from your fingers, and the place is just like room temperature, right? I want the shit that these people are smoking. I do, because it's a lot better than what I grow. But, yikes. Wow. And I thought the Super Skunk was pretty good. Them people be smoking some Jamaican Thai or something. Anyway, there's never a shortage of conspiracy theories in the prepper sphere. And I say that in a joke, and, you know, I mean, a lot of them have a little weight to them. No doubt about that. It's usually not the drama fest that they're made out to be. However, this particular one, well, this has been in the plans for a whole long time. A long time. Back when I started talking about this in depth. Way long before I ever started doing this show. Gosh. 25 years ago. No kidding. Now they call it smart cities. Some people refer to Agenda 2030. Back when I first started talking about it, it was always Agenda 21, and it was humorous, kind of. It was frustrating and humorous, equally so, I must say, because I could tell people about Agenda 21, and they look at me like I had three heads, and I could give them the UN website, their link, directly to their website. And I was still full of shit somehow. And that went on for an awful long time. Over 10 years. Over 10 years. And then finally, people started to slowly pick up. Oh yeah, this Agenda 21 is a real thing. And that, right about the time people started in mass kind of picking up on Agenda 21, that's when they swapped to Agenda 2030. And now, they don't use that term. They keep switching up terms. You know the deal. Just like the Great Reset and all that, you know, Build Back Better. They just keep changing terms. It's all the same plan, all the same agenda, all the same hell. But that is something that is absolutely true. The whole smart city thing, no doubt about that. And in fact, one of the reasons for the roundabouts popping up everywhere, that's a UN thing. A lot of people don't realize that's a UN thing. You know how easy it is to completely block off a roundabout versus an intersection? Oh, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. And you can also, you know, when you need the traffic to move, you can control that kind of flow as well a lot easier with a roundabout versus a regular intersection. That's why all the roundabouts are going in. It wasn't about shovel-ready jobs bullshit, which is what got sold whenever we built ours in this town. Right? That was back when Obama was president and we had all the shovel-ready jobs and all that bullshit. That's when we got our roundabouts. Again, it's a UN Agenda 21 / Agenda 30 program. It's right in there. If you read it, it's in there. It's crazy. I've been at this a long time. That's why I have a lot of the reason why I have the attitude I do with the prepper channels and stuff, because they have no idea how much of Johnny-come-latelys they are. They have no idea. I've been doing this kind of stuff since I could. Since I bought that web TV and had that internet connection 30 years ago. They expect me to bow down to their greatness because they have bigger numbers? Interesting concept. Moronic, but interesting. Anyway, per the article here, private equity firm plans new city in California, says New York Times. A group of venture capitalists, tech investors, and other Silicon Valley elites led by a Goldman Sachs banker plans to build a futuristic megacity in rural Solano County, California, the New York Times reported on Friday. The paper named some of the individuals behind a massive land buy for the project and that has puzzled and alarmed residents for years. Former investment banker Jan Stramick, operating under the name Flannery Associates, has been lining up big-name investors like LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman and venture capitalist Mark Andreessen since 2017 to fund the acquisition of over 140 properties in the area known as Montezuma Hills. The buys span 50,000 acres and are worth a total of $800 million, New York Times revealed. The eventual goal, according to a survey sent to Solano County residents last week and seen by San Francisco Standard, was to establish a development with tens of thousands of new homes, a large solar energy farm, orchards with over 1 million new trees, and over 10,000 acres of new parks and open space. The idea supposedly emerged from Silicon Valley bigwigs' long-withstanding gripes about real estate in the Bay Area. One of the most expensive places to build in the U.S. due to a dense thicket of local regulations and zoning laws. According to New York Times, venture capitalist Michael Moritz got things rolling by pitching the creation of an entirely new city in a note to a potential investor in 2017. Tech investor Laureen Powell Jobs, Stripe co-founders Patrick and John Collision, and former GitHub CEO Nate Friedman have also reportedly contributed to Moritz's dream of a walkable, clean tech-powered utopia constructed from scratch 60 miles outside of the crime-plagued city of San Francisco. So, I wanted to make sure to include that one sentence because if anybody was to take this and argue, oh no, that's not a 15-minute city. I mean, look, they're talking about big, massive orchards, right? I mean, over 1 million new trees and tens of thousands of homes. Tens of thousands of homes. That's a lot of damn homes, right? And wow, a lot of people can live in there, in that walkable area. Wait a minute. Over 1 million trees. Tens of thousands of homes. In a walkable space? Yeah, this ain't sounding very fun anymore. And that will be what's on everybody's mind as they're sitting in their little pod, playing with their little pud in Montezuma Hills, California. Hey, I can start writing the banjo tunes to it now, right? New mixtape next week. Huh? Oh. Don't we already have sight? Well, yeah. I don't. You might. I mean, we don't live in that part of town. Oh, no. No, you gotta understand. We can't afford that. I mean, you have to be on that block over there if you want a sidewalk. I mean, our block's got a side... Not here, though. Oh, hell no. No. You gotta go to the main street for the sidewalk. Uptown. No, just a little. We're on a little street that goes down. It's there's no sidewalk there because it's not it's just kind of a tarred and chip street. So it's one of the inner city streets. Uh-oh, I'm spilling coffee on my crotch. This is wrong. It all went wrong there. At least it's not real hot. You'd have probably seen a different reaction. Alright. I have to do that on the B side of the mixtape, the song Coffee Crotch. There we go. That would be funny. Like, yeah, just the width of your property. It'd be great. Don't forget to put in crosswalks, too. That you have to put in the crosswalks. That would be funny. That would be hilarious. 1 second. The crosswalk to nowhere. Yeah, oh yeah, you damn straight they would claim it's theirs. They would claim it's theirs, but they'd make you maintain it. And pay taxes on it. Yeah, you put up a little street light and everything. It'd be cool. A little red flashing light, something like that. Hell, yellow light, doesn't matter. Go with a green light, blue light. Nobody will know what the hell to do. Like, what the fuck did we do with the blue light? Let's see. So yeah, this is going on, and RT's got this. You need to go slap anybody with it and let them know that smart cities are a real thing. They are absolutely real, and I wanted to make sure that I covered that term walkable because that says it all. So, and even it goes on to say Flannery's land surrounds Travis Air Force Base on 3 sides, which led some local officials to belatedly raise national security concerns upon discovering just how many tens of thousands of acres had actually been bought from under their noses. As rumors swirled, the buyer was actually the Chinese government or maybe Disney. So, kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. All right. U.S. Navy vows to counter China's aggressive behavior, says media. Our commander of the U.S. Navy's largest forward-deployed fleet has reportedly responded to a recent confrontation between Chinese and Philippine ships in the South China Sea by pledging to push back against the alleged aggression of Beijing's forces in the region. Well, I didn't mean to click on it. Hang on. I was trying to see what it was as recall alert, but yeah, FDA recalls eye drop brand, I can't even speak, over potential bacterial fungal contamination. The agency says it has recalled Dr. Burns MSM drops 5% and Light Eyes MSM eye drops over contamination issues. So, if you have any of those eye drops, send them to your enemy. I mean, waste not, want not, right? I mean, Simone Biles wins her record 8th U.S. championship 10 years after she ascended, blah, 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 blah. Good to hear she's still at it. So anyway, you know, our Navy's offended China's Navy, and they're gonna offend them back, and they'll just keep offending one another. But I just hope they quit wearing their stupid-looking outfits. That might help. Just quit that. With the cotton, no, quit. Quit. All right. Now, this is probably going to have a lot of mixed opinions. Personally, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I really hope Tucker gets this interview. I really, really do. There's not a lot of people in media that I'll give any trust, and I mean, I'm not exaggerating that I will give any trust. Because I'm sorry, once you knowingly spread disinformation or misinformation, you're done with me. Period. That's it. And I can't say I've absolutely agreed with 100% of everything that's come out of Tucker's mouth, but it's been fairly close. And he intends to present the data, period. I think the occasions where I personally disagree, I think his data was skewed, because there's a lot of skewed places to get data. So that makes a big difference, but I really do think that we could probably learn a lot from that interview. I like it. It says here, former Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson has been seeking an interview with Russian President Vladimir Putin, RT editor-in-chief Margarita Simonian said on Sunday. Carlson is strongly requesting an interview with Vladimir Putin, Simonian said on a talk show aired by Rossiya 1 TV channel. It would be great if someone listens and notifies the president about this. Carlson has not commented on the matter. Putin rarely gives one-on-one interviews to foreign media. His last lengthy conversation with a Western journalist was an interview with CNBC anchor Hadley Gamble on the sidelines of the Russian Energy Week Forum in Moscow in October 2021. Tucker Carlson Tonight, which aired on Fox from 2016 and 2023, was the highest-rated TV show on U.S. cable news. Carlson was abruptly fired from the channel in April, this goes into the history and all that, right? I love the idea. I absolutely love the idea. I think it would be a smart move for Putin. I think that would be a genius move for Putin. Would be to accept Tucker on this interview. But be careful. I think Putin is a lot more skilled and strategic than what a lot of people are willing to give him credit for. Putin is not a dummy. He is a master at what he does. And that is what it is. I mean, I can't speak much to it because I'd be a hypocrite. Our country's the same damn way, right? All the corruption, all the crazy bullshit. No different. Really no different. This I thought was interesting. Last tab I have open, and we got the headlines from Friday till today. So I've been making sure to point out when it's in the headlines of the different states that are trying to go back to firing squad as a form of execution. There have been a number of states already that's come forward to do so. Well, apparently, there's a number of states that are considering something called nitrogen hypoxia. Let me read the article which will explain what it is. State of Alabama asked a court on Friday to schedule the execution of a convicted killer, Kenneth Eugene Smith, via the novel method of nitrogen hypoxia. Attorney General Steve Marshall requested that the Alabama Supreme Court set a date for what would be the second attempt to execute Smith, who was convicted in 1988 of killing a preacher's wife in a murder-for-hire scheme masterminded by the preacher himself. Now here's my thoughts on that, because I gotta speak up here. If you're due to be executed and they try to Epstein you and they fail and you survive, that should be the end of that. Now, I'm not saying they cut you loose and you go run the streets. Nah, you're gonna die in prison. But I think if they try to kill you and fail, they shouldn't be allowed to try again. I think that's bullshit. I don't know, that just don't sit right with me. And from my understanding, it happens a little more often than what we'd probably realize. It's what the article says anyway. It says here, a previous attempt to execute Smith via lethal injection failed last year when the technicians were unable to insert the IV tube to deliver the deadly drug cocktail. Nitrogen hypoxia has never been or before been used as an execution method, though Alabama, Oklahoma, and Mississippi have all legalized it. Nitrogen comprises 78% of the air humans already breathe, and increasing this to 100%, at least theoretically, leave the prisoner unconscious within a minute and dead soon after. Its failure rate, that is, cases in which the prisoner survives, would likely be much lower than what we see with current death penalty methods, Professor Charles Blank of Oregon Health and Science University School of Medicine told Fox News. The state has not released details on how it plans to execute Smith, such as whether a gas chamber or a specifically designed gas mask will be used, and the lack of planning or precedent has raised alarms among prisoners' advocates. I mean, yeah, I kind of have a feeling that, they need to be able to prove that the method that they're using is humane. I've heard, obviously I don't know, I have heard that one of the absolute worst ways to go, I mean, you'd think fire would be bad, you'd think falling from a building would be bad. They say drowning. They say drowning is I don't know, I've heard it over and over and over that's the worst way to go. Now, I find that intriguing. I mean, when I think about fire and all the other millions of ways. But drowning, I've heard, is the worst. And I've heard it many, many times. So, anytime you're in this area, suffocation, drowning, asphyxiation, right? That's going to be nasty. They're not bullshitting me. this isn't a cool way to send people out. It's not. It's not. That's what they're doing. Just without the water. They're drowning these people without the water. It's not cool. Absolutely not cool. I'm all for death penalty. I mean, you kill somebody, you deserve to be killed back. But see, I don't believe in all these games and bullshit, the bureaucratic red tape and feeding them for 15 years before we do the job. No, I'm not. No. First off, we need to cut out a whole hell of a lot of middlemen and a whole hell of a lot of the overhead. So what you do is when you get your ruling, when it's been so ordered, then you let the families of those affected by that criminal take care of them, right? I'm sure they won't mind putting out the money for the rope or the bullets or whatever it is that they choose to use, right? That's how it really should be done, in all honesty. But it needs to be done expeditiously. None of this waiting and waiting and waiting. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. That in itself is inhumane. So, yeah, I believe I believe in giving the criminal over to the families of the victim to do with whatever. If that means to peel their skin off with a carrot peeler, whatever. Wash your hands. I don't know. Right? But whatever they choose to do, that's in between them, the cat that destroyed whatever with their family, and their God. And you know what? God does have a few things to say on the matter. Eye for an eye. Anywho, we got some headlines. I know you're shocked, right? I just got popped. This, I'll tell you what, this flavor is turning out to be mighty, mighty good. It really is. It's really getting a lot of good notes to it. Banana cream, dragon fruit, grape, peach, and a little sucralose. Good stuff. I've been letting these two steep in the last bottles, though. Pink Starburst and Evil's Apple Juice. Oh my goodness. They are smelling good. And I added a little bit of peach to the Pink Starburst. And I'll tell you what, it smells a lot more spot on now than it did before. So we'll see. I am having a fit with my sinuses tonight. Alrighty. I'm serious, man. My sinuses are just running like crazy. Alright. Let's try to spit out these headlines and get the hell out of here. These are from Friday, so this is Friday's news. Leader calls for European slaveholders to be prosecuted posthumously. Top Russian bank ready to back Europe's biggest high-speed rail project. U.S. mortgage rates hit 23-year high. Ukraine attempted mass drone terrorist attack on Crimea, says Moscow. Again, that's Friday's news. BRICS offers vast opportunities to its members, says NGO head. U.S. sanctions hit the most vulnerable, says Moscow. Expanded BRICS to dominate global energy markets, says data. Trump mugshot, turned into merch. Key BRICS declaration released. Putin won't travel to India for G20 summit, says Kremlin. 5 EU nations push to extend ban on Ukrainian grain. U.S. to reduce military aid to Ukraine in 2024, says Wall Street Journal. Denmark seeks to ban Quran burning. Beer giant sells Russian assets for €1. Trump posts first tweet since 2021 Twitter ban. No need to ban Russian artists, says Scholes. Western countries not welcome at BRICS, says Moscow. Prigozhin didn't request security guarantees, says Lukashenko. They didn't ask for him. Too bad. Putin's favorite oligarch gets his day in court. Investigators provide update on Prigozhin plane crash. And again, this is Friday's news. Today's news included that the DNA did come back as Prigozhin. That's what they're claiming. Elon Musk says he's being sued for political purposes. Russia toughens exit rules for Western firms, says Reuters. Total lie, Russia killed Prigozhin, says Kremlin. I don't know. Jury's still out on that one. Biden fundraises off Trump arrest. Because I would think if it was foreign actors that there would, you'd have known by now. Putin wouldn't have let that slide. You would have saw another aircraft go down with very important people on it. If the West was behind that, you would have saw an airplane with VIPs from the West, wherever, anywhere from the West, you would see it go down in a tit for tat. Nah, I'm thinking that was Putin. Let's see. Spanish government suspends kissing football chief. That's all stupid, crazy. I swear to gosh. Let's see. U.S. presidential hopeful warns of post-Zelensky warlord in Ukraine. Compared to warlord Zelensky? I mean, could it be a whole lot worse? I mean, yeah, I guess it could, but still. Sisters detained in Kiev for twerking on dead soldiers' graves. German officials believe Ukraine destroyed Nord Stream, says media. Europeans fear Biden will push Ukraine to peace, says Bloomberg. California man shoots estranged wife and 9 others. Danish filmmaker attacked for Russian Lives Matter comment. Poland probes outbreak near Ukraine border. Georgian ex-leader Saakashvili fully responsible for 2008 war, says Medvedev. Drone destroyed en route to Moscow, says mayor. Oh yay, now we're to yesterday's news. After drink of coffee. Oh man. Alright, yesterday's news. Japanese warplane sent to monitor Chinese bombers, says Tokyo. China emerging as global LNG trading power, says Reuters. Moscow's economy grew 20% in just 5 years, says deputy mayor. Ukrainian drone attacks in Russia are morale boosters, says New York Times. A scandal-hit PM refuses to step down. U.S. lawmakers rail against more Ukraine aid, says Politico. ECB explains its anti-inflation plan. France to spend millions on wine disposal. German state budget deficit soars. Biden compliments Trump on his looks. Britons warned of tough winter ahead. Caribbean nation to legalize religious marijuana. Hallelujah. Red Cross gets gold bars left on train as donation. I mean, there's actually several different belief systems that use marijuana and a host of other things to hold ceremony, ritual. Let's see. Exiled opposition figure accuses her backers of hypocrisy on Belarus. Ex-Ukrainian chief prosecutor claims Biden took bribes. No, we would never believe that. Ex-Russian president hopes Georgia will recognize South Ossetia. I don't know if it'd be Ossetia or Ossetia. One of the two. And Abkhazia. Yeah, Abkhazia. That might be somewhere in the right direction. Google buries websites of Trump and RFK Jr. Republican challengers, says a report. European nations want to buy Iranian drones, says Tehran. You know, with all the, election interference and all that kind of bullshit, you would think that, Google would be, susceptible to charges, but no. Summer diplomatic games kick off in Russia. NATO cheerleader advocates breaking up Brazil. World laughing at EU over Russia's sanctions, says member state. Tucker Carlson blast creep U.S. ambassador. Pope's peace plan making progress, says Hungary. I like Build Back Better, Pope's peace plan. EU state TV ends broadcast of Christian services. Biden administration sought control over TikTok, says report. No kidding, they sought control over everything. Ben and Jerry's president. Sniffer in chief. Alright. Russian national arrested in Finland, says embassy. U.S. judge denies bail to black Trump supporter. 3 killed in racially motivated shooting in Florida, says police. Possible cause of Maui wildfires identified, says AP. And it was, power lines. Ukraine confirms secret meeting with NATO generals. The reason I pointed out power lines because I've heard that there were calls to report power lines that were arcing and stuff like that long before the fire started. I don't know if it's true or not, but what I heard. Use of euro in global payments nosedives, says data. Oh, we are actually to today's news. I just realized that. Fun times. My back is freaking killing me. I got a spot in between my shoulders. And it's been out for well over a week now. And man, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. I can't get that stupid thing to pop. Alright, let's see. Ukrainian drone hits apartment block in Russia, says governor. Pakistan reacts to EU states' planned Quran bill. Rich Nordic nations' economy stalls. Get my umbrella out. Use of Euro and global... Oh, I read that like 3 times. I'm way up here. 3 dead in U.S. military helicopter crash in Australia. And no, I don't think that was the type of Russian payback if we were responsible for Prigozhin. That wouldn't be it. It would be VIPs. It wouldn't be just military. You would know it. You would know it. Famed Ukrainian fighter pilot dies in jet collision. Top crypto exchange bans foreign currency transfers for Russians, says media. Powerful blast rocks gas station in EU country. Expanded BRICS will make up nearly 40% of global economy, says data. That's a big chunk. EU imports from Russia drop at unprecedented pace, says Burrell. Russian business activity soaring. Prigozhin's death confirmed by DNA tests, says Moscow. Politician's career in limbo over decades-old anti-Semitic flyer. China may be behind UFO sightings, says former NASA official. Scholz laments state of Germany's economy. Alabama's covered that. NATO's Ukraine strategy has failed, says ex-Italian PM. Ukraine conflict may be lengthy, says Canadian PM. Thousands protest outside Netanyahu's home in Israel. Trump's mugshot proves fundraiser miracle, says Politico. Britain's most depraved killers to get mandatory life sentences, says PM. Russian billionaire asks EU to remove sanctions, says Financial Times. U.S. Navy vows to counter... Oh, I covered that one. Jailed U.S. reporter launches appeal. Russian archpriest proposes conscripting nightclubbers. Biden impeachment a natural step, says top Republican. Russians arrested on suspicion of spying for Israel, says media. West enabling Ukrainian attacks on Russian civilian targets, says The Economist. U.S. Senator cheers hurting Russia at cost of only Ukrainian lives. Protester smears German conservative politician with dog feces. You know. And then this, as I stated earlier, North Korea blasts Washington's sinister plan for Ukraine. So there you go. That is a Sunday's worth of news for you. I am ready to... I'm a little hungry. I think I'm going to warm up a little bit of shepherd's pie before I go to bed. You son of a bitch. He's dead. I'll kill him. Son of a bitch. The blood is on my hands. Mosquito. He bit me once, a little bastard. I feel it itching now, right? And then he came back for more. No, he got splattered all over my palm. Mess with me, buddy. Anyway. I'm going to get out of here before I wind up with multiple murder charges. Anyway, I'm out of here. I appreciate guys coming. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do it again. I hope to see, we've been eating quite a bit of it lately. I cheat, though. I use the instant mashed tater stuff. And, yeah, I cheat. But it's good. It's good. One of my favorite meals, so. Anyway, I will speak to y'all tomorrow, God willing. Hope y'all have a good evening. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom. It's a she biting me. Well, it could have been a she. I don't know. It was kind of small. Maybe I should have looked for the whacker first. I don't know. And then what if it was a she but identified as a he? Then we have a whole another, and then I don't know. I better go because I'm gonna get a headache. Anyway, I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you all have a good evening. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.